They just don't get it. they just don't understand. They come up with reason after reason, excuse after excuse as to why you guys refuse to watch late night television. A couple of months ago, the New York Times published a lengthy article detailing why late night is struggling. It's cord cutting. Yeah. Late night is on broadcast television. No cord is needed. You just need an antenna and some aluminum foil. The way people consume television is changing. Now, while this is partially true, it's not the reason late night is struggling. Have you ever heard of the old saying, if you build it, they will come? Over the last few years, people have flocked to streaming services not only because it's cheaper, but also because they offered the best shows, the best entertainment. Narcos, Ozark, Lincoln Lawyer, all popular shows exclusive to Netflix. Had those shows been on something like HBO, they would have drawn millions of viewers. I always point to Yellowstone to invalidate this excuse. Yellowstone draws 8, 9, 10 million viewers every week on the Paramount Network. Most people didn't know the channel existed before Yellowstone came out. If you build it, they will come. The way people consume television changed because the way linear television was produced changed. More specifically, the direction of late night television. We're at the end of the year now. The news comes to a screeching halt this time of year. Most people are off work, shows are on hiatus, there's just not much going on, but media outlets still had to produce content. There have been rumors over the last few months that the landscape of late night television is going to change. Some are speculating that broadcast networks could eliminate the medium altogether. With these rumors come predictions for 2023. Yesterday morning, Deadline provided their predictions for late night television. Now, some of these are based on fact, others are just pure speculation. But after reading the article, as well as the article from the New York Times, it has become even more abundantly clear the mainstream media does not understand you. First of all, take a look at the headline photo of the article. This is an article dedicated to late night television and its future. Do you notice anything or anyone missing here? I see Chelsea Handler, who last I checked hasn't been on late night TV in years. I see the Bumblebee, who got stung in the ass by TBS because her ratings was reaching Bomani Jones' level of failure. I see Travis Noah, Fallon, and Colbert, Jimmy the Kimmel looking constipated. They fill 2 spots here with stocked photos of women no one can identify. But I found it rather strange. An article on late night television, and they mysteriously forget to include the #1 host in late night, Greg Gutfeld. I wonder why. They begin by talking about all the casualties this year in late night. Travis Noah running away from Comedy Central after losing 75% of Jon Stewart's audience. TBS canceling Full Frontal, which was a strange name for the show considering all the power for a bumblebee lies in the stinger in its ass. They eulogize their fallen shitfucks, then organize a woke hug celebration, celebrating the 3 white men on broadcast television signing long-term contracts. This is amazing! Both Jimmy's and Colbert will remain on TV for the foreseeable future. I found the celebration kind of strange. I thought we were fighting for diversity, equity, and inclusion. None of the 3 major networks seem to be participating in this fight. They all have 3 white men hosting late night shows, although we have been unable to contact a biologist to determine the true gender of Jimmy Kimmel. I know he used to be a man, but today his gender remains unknown. James Corden has officially stepped down from the Late Late Show on CBS. Well, KC, what the hell is that? It's a show very few people watched. Now, the stepping down of the evil white man has left an opening at CBS. The brilliant idiots at Deadline came up with a revolutionary prediction as to who will be the new host. You would be wise to bet that the gig doesn't go to another straight white male. Yeah. Diversity at its finest. We're not looking for charisma. We're not looking for a comedian. According to these standards, we need a minority host confused about their gender. Maybe they should call RuPaul. Now, behind the scenes, networks are seriously considering eliminating the late night platform altogether. These shows are incredibly expensive to produce, and with dwindling audiences, networks, they're just not receiving a return on their investment like they have in the past. CBS slashed the budget for the Late Late Show from $60 million this year to just $35 million in 2023. Now, I know $35 million sounds like a lot of money, but that is pennies when you're producing television. What host are you going to get for pennies on the dollar? NBC tried something similar several years ago with YouTuber Lily Singh. They brought her in to replace Carson Daly. Now, Lily Singh checked multiple woke boxes. Minority, check. Woman, check. Alphabetter, check. She also checked a fourth woke box. Huge embarrassing failure. The show was an absolute disaster, canceled after 2 seasons. Apparently, Americans at 1:30 in the morning don't want to watch a shit fuck either. Deadline moved on to The Daily Show on Comedy Central, the show previously sunk by Travis. Jon Stewart, he had this ship smooth sailing. After years of Travis Noah sitting behind the desk, this Titanic is sitting vertical in the Atlantic, just waiting for the next shit fuck to sink it to the bottom. According to the sources at Deadline, Comedy Central could be hiring a hosting duo to finish the job. I guess it kind of makes sense. It would be tough for one birthing person to hit the level of failure achieved by Travis Noah. We need 2 people for the job. And what better duo than Roy Wood Jr. and Desi Lydic? KC, who in the hell is that? I had no idea. I had to look them up. They both identify as comedians and are correspondents on The Daily Show. According to Deadline, the duo would be perfect for the job because they represent diversity. One is a black man, the other is a white woman. But she has an Icelandic tattoo, which translates to female empowerment, so that makes her a minority. As of the recording of this video, biologists have been unable to confirm which of the duo represents male and which represents female. The next exciting prediction from Deadline: CNN will launch its own late night show. What? That sounds like a great idea. I mean, damn, we're kind of running out of room at this point in the woke cemetery after burying all the failures at CNN the last 12 months. Why not go ahead and add another? In his first 10 months at CNN, Chris Light has yet to implement one idea that succeeded. Hell, his biggest accomplishment was shutting down CNN Plus 3 weeks after its launch. Even Chris Light was smart enough to know a streaming platform could not be carried by Rex Chapman and Jamel Hill. Recently, he told the New York Times, "Prime time and late night at CNN is an open canvas. We are throwing ideas against the wall, just hoping something will stick." The only thing sticky at CNN is the pages of woke Playboy with Rachel Levine as the centerfold. Every single idea has been a huge embarrassing failure. Jake the Bongo Tapper in prime time, failure. Don Lemon in the morning, failure. Chris Wallace on Sunday nights, telling the world he feels like a woman, failure. Chris Light really believes CNN can emulate the success of Greg Gutfeld in Late Night on Fox News. But the problem is, and the problem is not exclusive to CNN, it pertains to CBS, NBC, ABC, Comedy Central too. The problem is they don't understand why Greg Gutfeld is successful because they don't understand you. Now, me personally, I don't find Greg Gutfeld to be funny. However, I do think his show is entertaining. It's a roundtable discussion of normal people talking about issues. Their conversations are similar to the conversations I hear at the bar during happy hour. They're not worried about diversity. They're not worried about casting a gender void ficus. Greg Gutfeld puts people on his show that he has chemistry with. And you know what? It works. What a concept. Hiring the best candidates for the job. Now, the last prediction, and most definitely the least, Chelsea Handler will return to late night. Why? Why? Why in the hell would Chelsea Handler return to late night television? Hasn't she failed enough already? Deadline claims that she would be welcomed with open arms because we don't have another woman hosting a late night show. Which is true, but you want to know why? They've all failed. They tried this with Joan Rivers back in the late 80s or early 90s. Joan Rivers was an incredible comedian. She was a regular on Johnny Carson. She was the preferred guest host anytime he was on vacation. Joan Rivers had a legendary career, but her biggest failure was her late night show. Since that time, they have tried multiple women, all have failed. For some reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason, late night shows are more successful when they're hosted by men. You can call it misogyny, you can call it whatever the fuck you want. The rest of us call it reality. Earlier this week, Joe Rogan perfectly explained why late night TV is failing. He was talking specifically about Jimmy Kimmel, but what he said pertains to the entire medium. They were talking about Jimmy Kimmel and his newest obsession, Elon Musk. Listen to what Joe Rogan says. This is the reason everyone is failing in late night except Greg Gutfeld. Roll the film.
People saying, please don't joke about pronouns. It's transphobic to joke about pronouns. So they were chiding him for participating in a joke about pronouns.
So Jimmy Kimmel was doing it. He was doing it too.
Yeah, he was doing it too.
Yeah. No, he was being accused of joking about it too.
So they were upset at him, even though he was attacking the appropriate person. He was doing it in a manner which is also construed as being transphobic. Like they were saying that his tweet is transphobic.
Do you think that was, in that case, do you think that's him or a writer? Can't you tell?
Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah.
No, it's him, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
good. That's a good one.
He's a comic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, he used to host The Man Show. I mean, he's done some pretty outrageous shit back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, for hee-hees and haw-haws.
No, that's a good joke on top of a good joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke. Funny thing to say. He's had a real problem with Elon from the beginning of this thing, but it's like he's in this leftist thought bubble. He is in the most leftist thought bubble available, which is Hollywood. And, and I think also, he famously, there's some videos of him in blackface, and those came out, and he had apologized for them, and I think he took that hit and, really doubled down the other direction.
Jimmy Kimmel has lost almost 1 million viewers since 2016. Low ratings have canceled multiple late-night shows. Hosts are running away from the medium, the platform. And it's not because viewing habits have changed. It's not cord cutting. They have tried shitfucks like Chelsea Handler on Netflix. Failure. The medium is not the problem. The hosts are the problem. They've confined themselves. They've painted themselves into a corner. You can only make jokes about white people, Elon Musk, or Donald Trump. After a while, you run out of material. They have completely alienated over half the country. Greg Gutfeld, he has access to the majority of the population. All he needs is 1, maybe 2%. His show is a success. All these other hosts, they are fighting for the attention of identifiers. They're splitting their audience. If TV networks continue burying their heads in the sand, late-night television will become extinct. 3 to 5 years, there will be no more late-night television. But give me your thoughts. Deadline makes informed predictions showing how out of touch the mainstream media is with the average American. Future of late-night television. Will the medium become extinct in the next 3 to 5 years? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.